Okay, this is my room, believe it or not. It's very kind of tacky and not put together very well. Here's the bathroom. That's the bathroom light switch. Yuck. It's not too bad, but it's not too good either. At least it's super clean. And there are no bugs or anything that I could see.
Well, a very good morning to you all, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was a thoroughly underwhelming response from the top deck, wasn't it? Should we try this again? Good morning to you all, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning!
That's a little bit better. Welcome aboard the Millennium Dawn for your cruise up to Westminster. Now that we've left the pier, I'm required by law to give you a quick safety announcement. Now, it's famous as a place of execution, but this was built as a palace, not a prison. It was built for the royal family to enjoy. But people have been executed here. The last we know of was in the Second World War. There was a German spy who had parachuted into England at night. He injured himself upon landing, was captured, brought to the Tower of London, tied to a wooden chair and shot by firing squad. And that chair is still on display at the Tower of London. You can see where the bullets went through. On the left, we have London's very own warship, the HMS Belfast, launched on St Patrick's Day, 1938, having been built in the same docks as the Titanic, the Harland and Wolff shipyard of Belfast. Her main armament was 6 guns forward, 6 aft, all capable of firing a 100-weight shell over 14 miles. She's now permanently moored here as an extension to the Imperial War Museum. You can pay to go on her, go in and out the hatches, up and down the ladders, exploring all 9 of her decks, the engine room below the waterline to the captain's lookout up at the top. It's a fantastic way to lose your children for a couple of hours. On the right, we have the skyline of London. The building with the domed roof, this is the Gherkin. The one to the left of that with the point, the Scalpel. To the left of that, the one with the triangles going up, the Cheese Grater. And the closest of the tall buildings, the one that gets wider as it goes up, the Walkie-Talkie. Not the real names of those buildings, that would be ridiculous. They're the nicknames that were given to them by the taxi drivers of London, the cabbies. They gave them nicknames after what they thought they looked like. On the left, Western Europe's tallest building, the Shard of Glass. Inside, offices, shops, restaurants, and near the top, luxury apartments. The designer was an Italian man called Renzo Piano. He was offered £5 million for his drawing of a triangle, and he turned it down. He said instead he wanted the 4-bed penthouse suite, and they gave it to him. He lived up there for a few years before selling it on privately for a rumoured £27 million. It's only slightly better than the 5 he was offered at the start. Ahead of us, the world famous London Bridge. This one is London Bridge, the one behind us is Tower Bridge. People often get the names confused. But I'm going to give you all a lovely tip on how to remember which one's which. Are you ready?
Yes. Yep.
Alright, see, Tower Bridge has got 2 towers. And London Bridge has the words London Bridge carved into its legs.
Oh yeah.
The 5th one to stood here, the first built by the Romans about 2,000 years ago. The first one burned down, the second one fell down. So where we get the nursery rhyme, London Bridge is falling down. The last one was sinking into the mud. It was going to be taken down and destroyed until an American businessman called Robert McCulloch bought it for $2 million. He had every brick numbered, taken down and shipped to the States, where he rebuilt it. And it still stands today as a tourist attraction over Lake Havasu in Arizona. Now, rumour has it he got the names of the bridges mixed up and he thought he was buying Tower Bridge. I would have loved to have been in the room to see his face when he realised he spent $2 million on the wrong bridge. The building on the right with the 2 towers, Cannon Street Railway Station. Many years ago there was a lovely glass dome that stretched between the 2 towers. When it came to the Second World War, they were worried it might get bombed. So they took all the glass out and they took it to the countryside, to the county of Kent, where they built a special warehouse to protect it. Unfortunately, the German High Command saw a brand new warehouse in a field during a war. They thought it looked important, so they bombed it and destroyed all of the glass. Cannon Street didn't actually take a direct hit during the war. Now, over on the left, there's a small brick building with red windows and a gold sign, the Anchor Tavern. There has been a pub here for over 400 years. Many famous people have had a drink in there, like Samuel Pepys, the diarist. William Shakespeare, he used that attic as his changing room. Tom Cruise in a Mission Impossible film, and later tonight, me and the captain. We hope to be in there by 8 o'clock if all goes well. Now what we do in there is research. The important research we put into the commentary I'm giving you now. We take this very seriously. Sometimes we're in there for hours and hours and hours. It's very thirsty work. This is a sacrifice we make for you. Is everyone enjoying the live commentary so far?
Yeah.
Very much. You want me to carry on?
Yeah.
All right then. Over on the left, there's a white and timber framed building with a thatch roof, the replica of William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. The original one burnt down after they set off a cannon on the stage as a sound effect and a spark set fire to the room. Now on a lovely sunny day like we're due today, when you see they raise that red flag, that means you can go in there for just £10 and you can see one of Shakespeare's plays put on in the traditional way. And if you know the price of live entertainment in London, I think you'll all have to agree with me. £10 for live entertainment in London is very reasonable. Over on the right, St Paul's Cathedral, Sir Christopher Wren's masterpiece. 365 feet tall exactly to the top of that cross. Now you normally have to pay £23 to go in there. You could then have a look round, learn some of the history, and if you wanted, you could then climb the over 500 steps to the top of the dome, to the viewing balcony. I can see people up there now. But a little bit of local knowledge for you. If you're here on a Sunday morning, it's open to the public for Mass. So it's free. Well, I say it's free, that is a church. They'll get you towards the end. You'll find someone walking round with a silver champagne bucket asking for donations. Now they do not want your coins. If you put metal coins in a metal bucket during the silence of Mass, you interrupt everyone deep in thought and prayer. So they ask for your 5, 10, 20 and £50 notes. It's what they call a silent donation. Ahead of us, the Blackfriars Bridges. The first one is the railway bridge. It's also the railway station, so we're about to go underneath the railway station. The second is the Rodenford Bridge, built by the Victorians. Now the second bridge has a sinister tale attached to it. There was an Italian accountant, a man called Roberto Calvi, who has since been given the nickname God's Banker. He got that nickname because he was taking mafia money and putting it through the church to try and wash it and make it legal. But he clearly did something very wrong, because he was found one morning hanging from Blackfriars Road Bridge. He had over £10,000 worth of international currency in his pockets. The red columns you see here, these are all that are left of the old railway bridge. They took it down when they built the station, but they've left the columns here because they're worried. If they took them away, the foundations of the other two bridges may become unstable, so they've left the columns to stay. Now we're coming upriver against the outgoing ebb tide. It means the water is going in the opposite direction to us, out towards the sea. Now we get two tides every 24 hours on the Thames. That means it comes in and out twice every day. And this is a mud-based river. So with all that water constantly moving about, it churns the mud at the bottom up, gives the Thames this lovely tropical colour. When it's coming in, we call it the flood tide. When it's going out, like it is now, we call it the ebb tide. And we get two types of tide on top of that. You get springs and neaps. So spring tides are your highest high tide, followed by your lowest low tide, the biggest difference. Neaps is your highest low tide, followed by your lowest high tide, the smallest difference. This is all caused by the lunar cycle. It's the gravitational pull of the moon on the Earth's water. So when we have a full moon or a new moon, the biggest tide, springs. On a half moon, neaps, the smallest tide. Over on the right, on the old river wall, you can see some green metallic lions' heads with rings in their mouths. These were put in by the Victorians, but they're not for mooring up boats. That's a common misconception. These lions are actually part of an early flood warning system. You can see the average high tide mark on the wall. It was said if there was a surge on the high tide and the water was to cover the lions' mouths, that London was at risk of flooding. So the police were told, while walking their daily beat, to look over the side of the wall. If it had got to that level, they'd continue up to this blue phone box on the right, one of only a handful left in London. They would unlock it, phone the underground stations and give them a code word ordering them to shut for fear of flooding. Now they were taught a couple of rhymes for this. See if you can finish them with me. When the lions' heads are drinking, London surely will be sinking. If the water gets up to the lions' manes, London goes down the drains. And if you know the answer to this one, keep it to yourself. There were children on board. When the lions' heads are fully ducked, London is well and truly flooded. I'm sure there's a better one. Now coming up on the right is a black and white hulled boat with a black awning over the top deck. This is the former royal barge, the St Catherine. Now years ago, anytime the royal family came out on the river, that's the boat they would have taken. They now have a much newer, much nicer barge called the Gloriana, custom built for Queen Elizabeth II. Now the Gloriana is reserved for King Charles and Prince William. When Harry comes back to London, they make him take that one. Because it's spare. Oh, what, too soon? Ahead of us, Waterloo Bridge, better known as the Ladies' Bridge. That's because while the men were fighting in the Second World War, it was the ladies that kept this nation going. They built this bridge, and they did take enemy fire from the Luftwaffe whilst doing so. There is still a bullet mark on this arch. Now it is the longest bridge to span the upper reaches of the Thames, and it's the only one in this river's history ever to have been built both on time and under budget. So well done to the ladies. Over on the right, there is a stone building with a green roof. The very expensive Savoy Hotel. I'm sure you recognise it from when you left there this morning. The cheapest room in there is about £1,000 for the night. And that's one that faces the road, not the river. If you wanted to stay in the royal suite underneath that flagpole on New Year's Eve, it would set you back more than £20,000 for the night. But don't feel too bad for them. That does come with a complimentary full English breakfast with 2 sausages. Bargain. The top left-hand room, top left-hand corner, was the favourite room of Charlie Chaplin when he stayed at the Savoy. He was a regular. And he was known, when he had finished his dinner, to go for a walk of an evening. And there was one evening he went for this walk, and he walked past a local pub. Outside the pub was a sign that said, "Tonight only, Charlie Chaplin look-alike competition." And he thought, oh, go on, I'll enter. This will be hilarious. And he didn't win. He came second. This is genuinely true. You can look up newspaper articles from the time. Charlie Chaplin lost his own look-alike competition in London.
Yeah. Hello.
Look, everywhere. I'm right this way. No, where my finger is, Joe. See that? You've got to look there. There you go. Yes. Hey, you got your mouth open. Yeah, bro. Oh, no, that's a good one. Oh, yeah. Alright,
Yeah. Oh.
I was on a fast.
Yeah.
That's what my bed. But they threw
I saw they didn't give it to you.